What is mine, that is yours. You can't hold my lamb. Yes, I own my land. Stacking this paper, you know that I get it up. I can't be broke again. Tucking that shit in that Glocky gon' hit it up. Headshot, soak his man. My chopper get hot, just like a pan. Got the headlights, just like a ram. I got 10 toes and I counted 10 fingers, so I do not need a helping hand. Monopoly crib, I'm moving again. Got your bitch on me, she grooving again. Let's cut them again, I just give them a reason to hate. So my niggas shooting again. My group, my roof, drop that shit again. She saw my dick, then she mopped up my friends. No, we do not want to feel tooth again. When she let me go, I'm on the loose again. She on the molly, she tryna boot again. She ain't in mine, this girl is a lens. I prayed every time when I thought you sent. I write in my mind, I don't use a pen. She giving me time, I watch cause a lamb. Just give me more time, other watch cause a Benz. Look at Lil Uzi, he popping again. Them niggas, they switching, they hopping again. Look at them niggas, they opping again. She giving that top and she slopping again. Look at this album, it's flopping again. Not taking a break, I'm not stopping again. Too much guap, bands, bellow, foreign, tans. She ignored that man, fucking with me, handstand. I can't lie, she got that good, but that girl, bad. I stay with her, back, make that girl dance. Let's go, yeah. What is mine, that is yours. You can't hold my lamb. Yes, I own my land. Stacking this paper, you know that I get it up. I can't be broke again. Talking that shit, then that Glocky gon' hit it up. Headshot, soak his man. Spent 100,000 on a brand new point on choker. Automatic girls got a motor. I can feel that shit in my shoulder. Brand new watch cost a quarter, and you know it's flooded in water. You know every day I'm getting older, but I'm young enough for your daughter. And you know my neck is flooded in boulders. Getting money, yeah, that's my quota. Even though Lil Uzi getting older, know I'm young enough for your daughter. Every time I'm in my mind, I focus. She give me hypnosis. Talking about the love can't hold it. Talking about the guap can't fold it. Talking about your mind, yo, you don't own it. Yeah, just take your time and gotta be cool. Yeah, it's on my mind and they just know it. Yeah, fast pace all the time. Yeah, I can't so much gap. Bands, bellow, foreign, tan. She ignored that man, fucking with me, handstand. I can't lie, she got that good, but that girl, bad. I stay with her, back, make that girl dance. Let's go, yeah. What is mine, that is yours. You can't hold my lamb. Yes, I own my land. Stacking this paper, you know that I get it up. I can't be broke again. Talking that shit, then that Glocky gon' hit it up. Headshot, soak his man.
Today, we're going to talk some PLL action, some winners on the diamonds, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Davey Martinez has to go. He is not a good coach. He wasn't a good coach in 2019. He got carried by Howie Kendrick, Juan Soto, Ryan Zimmerman. Davey Martinez has not done shit for this team. He is a bad manager, and it is showing right now. What's wrong with cracking a V8 during the Caps game?
Cracking a
What's wrong with
V8,
sitting
dude?
down, trying
Is
to
this a
take
Coors Light,
relax?
Krabs? It's
your
vegetable
night
juice. Like
Yeah.
going home and saying, I'm just going to crack a V8 while watching the Caps game. Like, you need to be put in an asylum. You know, the fastball heavy approach against a Mets team that is just crushing baseballs and getting no results, not just yesterday, but the whole lineup has been hitting the ball hard and had nothing to show for it, especially recently. Now you get a fastball heavy Ryan Nelson that has his struggles against lefties, and you have a lot of those guys that have been extremely unlucky that are going to see him from the left side.
Bringing in George Pickens. Surely this works out for the Dallas Cowboys. Surely bringing in another veteran here who's toxic, cancer in the locker room, a me guy. Surely that helps out this Cowboys team that already has plenty of those. Jerry Jones, my man, you did it again. What is going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, episode 709 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you are not tracking your bets on Bookit, what are you waiting for? Start tracking your bets today on the best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. Whatever phone you got, iPhone, Android, does not matter. They don't give a hoot. They got Pick It Up on the App Store or Google Play. Go check it out yourself. I promise once you do, you will keep using that puppy, W Pickett. And W Jovan with the Yankees -1.5 last night for the squad ride. Sure we can.
Sure. Made us sweat a little bit, I guess,
Sure
for a couple innings, but W Yanks, Max Fried with the most inefficient gem maybe of all time.
Yep. Max Fried him.
Yep.
Good to see him bounce back in the most Max Fried way of all time. That's Braves Max Fried right there. We've seen a new level of Max Fried this season where he's been just unbelievably good. He had that blow-up start, obviously, in his last one. The start last night, I feel like, was Braves Max Fried. Kind of all over the place, some foot traffic, but gets out of it and ends up, the stat lines are great, right? So that was vintage Fried.
Just the worst the worst 6-inning shutout one-hitter I've ever seen, which is crazy. The fact that that was like DeGrom the other day. He looked like dog shit and still dominated the Cards. Max Fried looked like moose early and still dominated, which was great.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Does.
Sure he can, Goots. Let's fucking go, Goots. Let's pull up the Sharp Report and see what we're cooking with for today. Take a peep, see how we did overall yesterday. Pretty solids. Nothing to write home about, but God, these earned run squares, they're turning green. These other cheeky ones, not so much. But Chris Bassett, less than 2.5 earned runs, great looking square. Yeah. Phillies team total, great looking play. First 5 over in the Mets and Dodgers was free. And yeah, the consensus Quakes never hit. So
love to give you your flowers for switching to that team total under. Did not think you were going to do it. Thought you were going to be stuck on that under.
Yeah, W pivot because
you would have been so mad.
Shout out the squad ride not hitting the other day for that one.
Yeah, you knew that shit was the Jays were just going to absolutely splooge.
You knew the Jays were splooging, and what do you know? 9-1. Jeez. Phillies bats are cold. God, this NL East that everybody was so fucking gassing up, so concerned about with all the great teams, they're not really showing up right now. Look, it's just a lull. I fully believe in the Phillies, and I think the Braves will figure it out too. And the Mets are also doing their thing, and they have one of the best records in baseball, so they're fine. But the Phillies and the Braves, not too hot right now. We'll see how long that lasts, especially the Braves, who are actually quail shit right now and behind the Nats in the standings. That probably won't last very long, but will the Phillies keep struggling? Who knows? Their bats are cold as ma right now. We'll see. Weird to watch. That team was also very, very hot like 2 weeks ago. They go so hot, they go so cold. Very, very streaky squads.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Phillies.
Braves,
my thoughts on the Phillies. The Braves, I'd be worried about. The Phillies, this is exactly what I said was going to happen. They're just going to skate by through the entire regular season. And then when playoffs pop up, what do you know? They get hot and they have rings on their fingers. So I think that's the script we're following.
We shall see. What else do we have to recap here? I believe a NBA 2-piece. It'll be fucking.
Literally turned into Curry.
Had a great game. Played unbelievable. Hartenstein, that was a great looking square.
You know what the problem is?
Adams got Wales. What's up, dudes?
These games aren't on TNT. That's the problem.
I know. It might just be the TNT aura.
That's a problem.
Yeah. What was the other square we were debating between with Obi Toppin? You remember?
Thomas Bryant, right?
Yeah. What did he end up doing last night?
I know he hit a couple baskets. I don't know if he did anything else.
I think we were looking at fading like his 8.5 PRA or something like that. Be curious to see what his stat line ended up at. I think it was. Ooh. Okay. Wow. Should have trusted our gut there. All right. Well, we move. We'll be okay. We'll bounce back today. We got plenty of games. We've got an MLB slate, glorious looking slate. We've got NHL, Stanley Cup tonight. We've got the PLL tonight as well on ESPN Plus. We are blessed. We're going to get Mikey Overs on here in a couple minutes, get the party started. Honestly, it might be time to just hop in right now and talk some PLL with Mr. Overs. Why don't we get right to it and bring him up here? Let's get Mr. Overs, the TMA machine over there. What's up, Beast? Sure we can. And go to muted. Sure you can.
There we go.
Oh, he's back. Let's go, Mike.
Gentlemen, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. 10-4s, clear as day. Thanks for coming on, Beast.
Of course.
Big night tonight. 2 pretty good games.
Great games, dude. Great games. Back in Charlotte, so that's always good. That's always been a great location for them. Some crazy performances last year out of someone on the Outlaws there last year, so I think it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, was this the game that Brendan O'Neill had like 7 points or 9 points or some shit and just went off? It was like his statement game where he's like, I'm here. Yep. Incredible. Well, perfect. I'm fading him today. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Good.
Yep. I'll be getting contrarian on the pitch out there today. We got two great games today, chat. In the PLL, we got the Denver Outlaws and the Carolina Chaos. Like Mikey was saying, it is a home game for the Chaos. They've got a doubleheader this weekend, and they've got their hands full because they're playing the Outlaws, who just added Jared Bernhardt, who you guys probably saw on the feeds. If you're not a big PLL guy, this probably still was on your feeds. This dude was in the NFL for a couple seasons, training camps. He was trying out for a wide receiver spot on the Falcons. Dude was a super mega athlete, just an absolute beast, and wanted to give football a shot. Now he's coming back to the PLL, kind of like, what was his name on the Patriots? Chris Hogan, the old receiver back in the day. Kind of pulled the same stuff. So pretty cool. I guess what the difference is between Jared Bernhardt and Chris Hogan is Bernhardt was a Tewaaraton winner, a.k.a. the Heisman of college lacrosse. So this guy was debatably the best player, if not the best player in college lacrosse when he was there. So he should have an immediate impact on this team. Now, as a contrarian, I'm going to try to get gross, and we're going to talk about the play I like in this game. It's not going to be involving the Outlaws much, but I certainly don't have the stones to fade this squad as they add a great piece back from the NFL. Can't make it up. Crazy story, dudes. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. We can go with Mike first. How do you think this game plays out? Outlaws versus Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's the first coach ever now to have 3 Tewaaraton winners on one team. He's got Brendan O'Neill, and now Bernhardt. So, I mean, this is a BTL dream to be able to maybe put a taste on the Chaos here tonight. Listen, there's no running from it, no hiding from it. Have been ice cold the past 2 weeks. I'm talking, had Braves money line yesterday, 7 runs in the top of the 9th. Sure you can. Had Brazil for a whale with a new manager. They drew. Had the Liberty team total over 88 and a half. They finished with 86 with a 13-point fourth quarter. Wow. I'm talking Detroit Tigers -1 and they lose outright to the White Sox. So I'm on an all-time getting spanked right now. However, I fucking shit nuked the Outlaws.
Okay.
So do what you want with that. I put 3 units on the ML, and we'll be seeing.
That's called land juice for the Outlaws on the ML effects. That's what that is. Could have a potential RBOP mid-game. Maybe you could live bet that puppy. People forget you can live bet these games.
Dude,
yeah, maybe a potential live RBOP.
So the ARB, dude, I could ARB an ARB potential.
I like the Chaos on the +1.5. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this will be a 1-score game either way, but I will not be betting on sides in this game. I don't want to fade this now like all-star looking squad, this all-star offense on the Outlaws. I don't want to fade them on the book. So you might be good there on the ML. Certainly not taking them though. Instead, I'm going to go with the under. The no fun under in this game, under 22.5. Depends on what books you're looking at. Some are at 21.5 now, but a couple you can still find 22.5 at. I want to back Blaze Reardon, who's not getting talked about enough this year. One of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the PLL. One of the best players in the PLL. I like his more than saves. We'll talk about that in a moment, but I think he goes out there and shows up like he does. He shows up every week, right? He shows up, he does job, he makes 57% of his saves, and then he goes home. The guy's an absolute fucking animal. And as the Outlaws work on plugging in Bernhardt, their new QB out there on the fields, I think they're going to have some rust he's got to shake off, and their offense might not look as smooth early on. I feel like a couple weeks in, this offense could be dangerous, but against this Chaos defense, which number one, it's the only good part of this team. Respectfully, it's their defense. They got your guy from Providence, the beast defender, Jared Newman, who is unbelievable at guarding lefties. And he's got a chance to maybe silence Brendan O'Neill in this game, who's a lefty sharpshooter who went off last year in Charlotte, like you were saying. But he's got the toughest matchup ever. You know why your guy Jeff Teat got silenced in game 1 last week? I'll tell you why, Mike. It's because your guy from Providence, Jared Newman, was covering him, bro. He's clamps. He's really fucking good. And he's going to be on Brendan O'Neill today. That's good for the under. That's good for Brendan O'Neill, less than points. So I'll take the under in the game. I'll trust Blaze. Hopefully this McElroy dude can do enough, and it's not just opening the fucking floodgates for the Chaos, but their offense isn't great. They're not going to score a bunch. They only put up like 8 goals in week 1. Not expecting many more in week 2 here against McElroy and the Outlaws. I'm just going under.
And then that kind of perfectly plays into my favorite prize pick square, which I'm sure everyone's going to think is biased, but the way that you just spoke about that makes me love it even more, is Pat Cavanaugh more than 2.5. I think if Brendan O'Neill is trapped, you just added another Tewaaraton winner in Bernhardt. and Logan Wisnauskas, who's the guy in that rotation that I think kind of gets forgotten a little bit, is Pat Cavanaugh, 2.5 points. And as good as Blaze Jordan is, and as good as the Friar is that's on that team, Jared Newman, I do think Pat Cavanaugh is kind of that do-it-all guy where you might see him more open on a couple cuts to the crease than you would have normally seen without Bernhardt and without Brendan O'Neill getting strapped. So I just love that number at 2.5 for him to either get an assist for Wisnauskas or maybe even put a couple in the back of the net. I love Pat Cavanaugh, 2.5 points more than.
I think if you're taking anybody on the Outlaws, or honestly any more than for an offensive player in this game, you pick the right guy. Wisnauskas is kind of banged up. He's questionable, but he's probably going to play. Brendan O'Neill, like I just talked about, is probably going to get absolutely face guarded by Newman. We'll see how it works out, but that's trouble for Brendan O'Neill. It's going to have to be Pat Cav stepping up. I think it's a pretty darn good look today, more than 2.5 points.
Has to be.
I may or may not have a POD in that game.
What
okay. Let's hear it.
Scrolling through Twitter this morning, I noticed there is somebody who calls their hometown close enough. It's in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. Josh Zawada's getting 3 points.
Okay.
POD.
Josh Zawada, more than 2 points for the Carolina Chaos.
Dude,
all
you're
right.
shitting me.
Josh Zawada is a spark plug. He's a microwave out there. Dude brings energy. He's one of the best pieces, if not really the only piece offensively for this Chaos team. So it's probably going to have to be Zawada.
Has to be Krabs.
Looks like we got Ron Mux lurking in the chat as well. This could be the difference, folks. Let's ask Ron. Let's see what he likes in this game. And if Ron likes that Josh Zawada, more than 2 point square. Curious to hear his thoughts on game 1 tonight on ESPN Plus, I believe 6 p.m. Eastern. Yep. 6 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus, Outlaws versus Chaos. Guys, the dog days of summer are here. You need something to bet on. You need something to wager on. You need something to hold you over until we get the NFL and college football back in a couple months. Why not dabble? Give it a shot tonight if you haven't already. I know you guys aren't going out tonight. It's a Friday. You're tired from work. You're tired from the week. You're going out tomorrow. All right, tonight, kick the feet up. Chill out on the couch. Maybe crack a beer if you're into that type of thing. And lock in your first PLL wager of the season if you have not already. Could be the perfect time to do it. And what better way to do it than taking a nasty under in the game? A no fun under, if you will, in the Outlaws and the Chaos. That's where I'll be. We'll see how it works out. Or you take Mikey's POD square. You take Pat Cav, more than 2.5 points, and you pair it with Jovan's POD square, Josh Zawada, more than 2 points, and then you meet at the bank. It might be that simple.
Meet at bank.
2 words, meet at bank.
You'd be disgusted if you found out what I have Zawada points in a lineup with. Absolutely disgusted.
Dak Prescott, less than pass yards.
Oh, no. It's a game that I think happens tonight. Different kind of football, though.
CFL, Nathan Rourke, pass yards.
Nathan Rourke, touchdown.
I knew it, dude. I knew you were going to like that square.
You're so close, bro.
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow night.
I knew you were going to like that square.
Nathan Rourke, rushing receiving touchdown. We'll be seeing.
Dude, who are these QBs? Side note, in this league.
Dude,
they actually have some decent quarterbacks.
I'd like to consider myself a college football guy, and I feel like I can remember a lot of players. There's not a single wide receiver running back in that league that I went, oh, I know who that is.
There's a couple that you should probably know. Charleston Rambo is probably a name you've heard. He's up and moving. Old Oklahoma wide receiver.
I don't remember him at all.
Austin Mack's up and moving. They got fucking throwing passes for I forget who, but Vernon Adams is up there. Old Oregon quarterback. It's a couple names.
Jock.
Bro, who is Bo Levi Mitchell?
Dude, he is a...
Who are these guys?
He's been mucking in the CFL for years, I'm pretty sure.
Bo Levi.
Oh,
okay.
He's been a legend there. He's got to be old as shit by this point.
Is Nathan Rourke related to Curtis Rourke?
I don't know if they're related.
I thought that was his older brother.
Yeah, they probably are because they both came from Ohio, right?
Yeah, I think that's his older brother.
If Nathan Rourke went to University of Ohio, then they're 100% related. So let's see.
Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, bro. And he looks like him too. That's crazy. That's older bro.
Yeah.
What the? Okay.
An older bro.
Wow.
Older bro is
Levi
going
is
to be
indeed a CFL legend. Okay.
Lamar tomorrow.
All right. Jovan, why is PP hanging in EK Irish? 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. What
Ike
are you
Irish.
talking about, Matt?
That's really weird. Really weird.
Ike Irish?
Yeah, slugger, one of the best players in the country for Auburn tonight. He's the only guy. They always put up a lot of 2.5 HRs, and he's only got a 1.5 up there, which is odd.
Oreo.
Okay. Let's reel back in here. W Rough Riders call last night as well, Madul. We do have one more game to talk about on the pitch in the PLL tonight in Charlotte. This one's on ESPN Plus as well. I think this is an 8:30 p.m. Eastern start. Yep. And this one's going to be good. You got the Water Dogs, who cost me so much coin last season. Not many teams in any sport cost me more coins than the Water Dogs last year. I mean, this is the most fake sharp team of them all. They were supposed to win every game. They were favorites every game. They had all the talent in the world. They got this new legendary coach who was like one of the greatest lacrosse coaches in our lifetime, who was at University of Denver for years and built up that program, Bill Tierney. And the team just sucked ass last year. They were terrible. They cost us so many coins. They didn't play last week. They had a bye week in week 1. Super weird. So they're extra rested, or you can make an argument that maybe they'll be shaking off some rust in this game as well against the Whip Snakes, who are one of the teams I root for sure, in this conference. But they're 0-1 to start the season. They did not look very sharp in their first game last week. Brendan Krabs did not look great in net. His saves percentage was around 40%. That's not going to cut it. I kind of like points in this game. I kind of like the Mikey Over in this puppy between the Water Dogs and the Whip Snakes. I think the Whip Snakes, their offense looks a little bit better with Rob Pennell in week 2 after they shake some rust off with some new guys last week when it was like kind of I think this week they put up more points in this one against the Water Dogs defense. It's something to write home about. I don't even know who's playing goalie for the Water Dogs in this game. That has not been announced yet either. So, and I also think the Water Dogs show up. Michael Sowers shows up. We'll talk about him more in a moment, but I think there's a reason why this is the later slated game for more people to watch tonight. It's going to be the better game. More points. Exciting one, 8:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus tonight. Give me goals. Give me the over 23.5. There's a reason this total's higher than the others this weekend.
I mean, I completely agree. I actually really like this over too. And I think my favorite play in this game that I'm definitely going to be taking is that Water Dogs ML. And I think it was something that you said on TMA yesterday, which is this is kind of a put up or shut up year for me with Michael Sowers after last year. This team was so disappointing, and he was in charge of this team as he has been for a long time after winning them a championship. And he was a non-factor last year. The amount of times I took his more than points and he would sit at X behind the net and just do absolutely nothing. This is a kind of prove it to me year. He's again in the race for MVP with guys like Jeff Teed, and now I assume Brennan O'Neill in year 2, and the Asher Noltings of the PLL, even though fuck that guy. But this has to be a Michael Sowers year, and that makes me want to take the Water Dogs here for that narrative. But after hearing you talk, I don't know. I love the over, but it kind of makes me want to lead the Whip Snakes. No, I don't believe CJ Curse is playing, especially with no goalie announced. And I feel like it might take the Water Dogs maybe a couple games to get going. I really like the Water Dogs coming into this, but after kind of hearing your spiel, I don't know if I love them anymore, but I definitely still love Michael Sowers more than 3.5 points just because you have to. Like, you have to.
Yeah, it's now or never. And you hit the nail on the head, Mike. I was Water Dogs yesterday on TMA and we were talking about it. But the more I look at this game, the more I think maybe the Whips pull this one out. They hand the Water Dogs another embarrassing loss. Mm-hmm. And then you see the Water Dogs, Coach Tierney, and when they get healthier as well down the line, when they get Cursed back, their rookie first-round pick, who's going to be a stud first overall pick, the kid from Cornell, best player in college lacrosse. When they get him back in a couple weeks, they also don't have Zed Williams, who they actually acquired from this Whip Snakes team in a trade in the offseason. He's out right now, too, with an injury. So they don't have all their guys. It's their first game of the year, which always sketches me out to back those squads. Mm-hmm. And their defense is probably going to look like Swiss cheese with a 0-1 Whip Snakes team with a great offense. Rob Pennell looking to make a statement after an iffy week 1. I like Rob Pennell's more than 3 points on Prize Picks. I'd probably stay off my guy TJ Malone. More than 3.5 points. For some reason, the under's minus 140 on the book. So that kind of sketches me out. But give me Rob Pennell, the GOAT, the Hall of Famer, one of the best players of all time to get going in week 2. I think he leads the Whip Snakes potentially to a win here. I don't love a side, but that's probably the way I'm leaning now. But give me the over. I think that's the right play in this game. Goals, points, should be an exciting one tonight on ESPN+.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great game. Also, I don't know why I have this poopy thing in my brain where like Kieran McArdle, I feels like goes over his points because he scores like 4 goals a game every single game, and I just never click his button. But he's up for 3
Yep.
points again, where it's like where Michael Sowers was a no factor. Kieran McArdle just seems to always pick up the slack. And for whatever reason,
Yep.
in my poopy brain, I just never click his square.
Dude, he's one of the best, most underrated players in the league. Legit.
And he's up for 3 so
he gets no respect. He's up for 3 points, and he's up for 3.5 on the book. So I certainly wouldn't mind that. If you want to take Kieran McArdle, he'll probably be more of a scorer, and then Sowers will be more the facilitator. But I think those kind of go hand in hand. So they probably either both hit or they both don't. So you can honestly stack them if you wanted to. They'll be feeding each other all game, right?
Feeding, ban for ban.
Love the over in this game. I'll be taking Michael Sowers more than 3.5 points. Rob Pennell, the good on the Whip Snakes, more than 3 points. Jovan, are you seeing anything in this game? Do you want to take any squares or any book plays?
I don't know about
Where's your head at?
squares, but whenever there's goalie uncertainty and a team playing their first game, hell yeah, I want to take the Whips, dude. I think I'm kind of sold on that after that whole discussion.
They're catching steam today as well. They've caught about 10 cents of steam on the blue book. They're typically sharper on the blue book. That's probably the right book to look at if you're looking at PLL odds and what matters and what doesn't. Yeah, and be young. We are really talking PLL and not the early MLB game. You got MLB every day of the summer. You don't get PLL every night. All right, we're locking in.
We had
Big Cheesy.
something important to say about the MLB game. It would have been said by now.
Sure. Yeah, if we had to play, don't you guys think we would have given it to you by now? I watched my first opening PLL with Bookit on live stream last year. Yes, Big Cheesy will be doing some of those. I can't do it this weekend because of a wedding, but just wait. We're going to fire those puppies up soon. Lost quite a bit of coin, okay? But made it back with live plays. All right, hear him out. This could be good. We're turning this puppy around. Needless to say, that was my last. I wish you guys the best of luck. Big Cheesy. You just said you made the coins back, Ben, and live. And let me say this as well. One of the best sports to bet live because there's a ton of streaks. A team will go up 4-0. Next thing you know, that team loses 12-8. It's a game of runs. It's a game of streaks. It's like basketball a little bit out there. I'm telling you right now, it's one of the best sports to live bet because you can take a team who's down 4-0 early at plus 3.5, who was the favorite before the game started. Next thing you know, they're winning by the time the second quarter starts. So keep that in mind, guys. You can live bet this shit. Yeah, and it's the best sport to live bet. I'll tell you that right now.
It does kind of remind me, I will say, that Whip Snakes game, a game that I just lost my ass on last week. I went 0 for 4, shout out. So hopefully I do a little bit better this week. Is that Cannon's Atlas spread. That Cannon's Atlas game. There's really no reason in my head that the Whip Snakes would be favorited over the Water Dogs. And I know you guys are big on the Cannons last week. That was like one of the best plays of the weekend against the Atlas, who on paper, I think are better than the Cannons at almost everything. And it kind of seems like the same thing with this, where why is that steam moving in the Whip Snakes direction? Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. So I think it reminds me of that Cannons game, and it kind of makes me want to bet a little gross and just take the team that I don't think is as good.
Yep. And the team that's catching steam and a favorite. I'm with you. Maybe they know something over there at the Blue Book. They might.
What do they know?
They might.
What do they know?
All right, let's craft up a lineup and then get you out of here, Mike. I'm liking these 2 squares that are up here on the board. You got Michael Sowers, more than 3.5 points. We got Blaze Reardon, more than saves. I feel like we've got to put Javon's POD. Meat on tape play in here as well, right?
Yeah.
It has to be done. Josh Zawada, more than 2 points at the top up there. Top right sector. Yep. Sure. And then probably Pat Calf as well. And that could be the 4-piece of destiny right there. Talk about a diversified portfolio. You got a goalie involved, you got an X involved, and then you got a couple other forwards out there up and moving in Zawada and Cav. That's a 4-piece that I think could be coming home.
I don't hate that at all.
I'm in. I'm locking.
Little Michael OG Sowers, little Vodka Sowers lineup, chat saying. They like his name. They're geeking.
Michael
Okay.
OG Sowers.
All right, I'm locking that puppy in. Hold on, Goots. I can't see that shit right now, but let me lock it in. I'm going to go Pat Cav, more than 2.5 points. We're going to go Josh Zawada, more than 2 points. We're going Michael Sowers, more than 3.5 points. And how about Blaze Reardon?
How about
the big boy? Best goalie, more than 12.5 saves.
How about it?
Right.
words. Bang.
Reset of format.
I'm in there.
Bang.
I'm going to drop the link for you guys to tail. As always, Mikey, appreciate you getting involved, and I hope you cash all of your bets in the PLL this weekend. You're due, my man. You're fucking due.
I can feel
All right,
it.
you're smacking them this weekend. Appreciate you coming on, as always, bro. And have a great weekend.
Appreciate you, boys. Have a
All right.
great weekend. Let's go hit some wagers, shall we?
A little bit.
Why not us?
Appreciate
Only
you.
chance we got. Yep. Peace, brother. Let's fucking go.
Bang.
Mikey Over is coming on to talk some PLL. Sure we can.
Bang.
All right, give me a second, guys. Prize Picks is loading, and then I will drop that link to the lineup if you want to get involved. Fresh off the presses. Okay? W's. Jovan, what'd you learn there when we were talking PLL? Any straight bets you want to get involved with after talking through some of those or nah?
I definitely want to get involved with that under that you're liking from the
First game under?
Krabs. Yeah, I'm in on that. Super
Yep.
in on that. I haven't
got the
decided what I want to
Blaze
do with that second
legacy
game yet.
game.
Whether it's
Yeah.
goals or the whips.
All right, the link to the lineup is in the Twitch chat. W's. Looks like Trent is up and moving. Fuck Krabs and fuck Jovan. Okay. Sure.
Really appreciate that look on SGA assist, Trent. Really appreciate that. You know, SGA had, I think, 40 points last night, or 38, 39, something right there. SGA assist in the Goat Whale, MVP, SGA assist in the series entry, is about to split for 40 a game. Hashtag thank you, Trent. Can't forget Tyrese rebounds, and he had a double-double. Incredible. Thank you, Trent.
What's up,
We got some
Locksmith?
boys
Good
today.
to see you, Beast. Oi. Oi. Crazy Jovan and Krabs just feed him winners and he comes in chirping. I give him a pass. He had a shit night last night. He
Shit
gets
night.
the chirp today. I have a feeling
Shit
Trent
night.
probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. And probably recently. We got
Probably
Jaden F
very
getting
recent.
involved. Yeah, probably within the last couple minutes. We got Jaden F15 coming in hot, resubbing as well. Bang, 26 months. Let's fucking go, Jaden. Atta babe. 2 words. Atta babe, Jaden. Sure we can. Let's fucking go, dude. All right, Jovan, we got the Miami-Tampa game starting up here. I'm assuming the over is going to be free in this game, considering
Probably,
we
yeah.
took it yesterday, both of us, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, probably going to be air. I mean, honestly, probably would have hit in extras, but the Rangers were just not paying attention. And Junior came around for that run. Hilarious play. So it's probably going to be air today. Playing afternoon, super hot, little wind out because of the Metallica concert at night. Zach Littell's coming off a 120 pitch complete game. Super, super rare for the Rays to let somebody do that, but it's probably tossing some now.
Okay. Yeah, not loving the early game. Some weird squares were up there too, but it's probably going to be the over after not cashing last night. And with that weird Cabrera double goose egg, earned runs allowed square. It's probably the over in the game. Going to sit that one out though. And the total did drop a whole run from that opening 9.5 numbers. So kind of weird. That could be because people are betting the under in this game after how this series is gone. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. W. Joshy, good to see you lurking in the chat. Sure you can. All right. Why don't we pull up the Sharp Report? We'll get into some of our favorite plays for today. Today, we're going to start with Jovan's plays, actually, and get going with his. Very curious to see where he's starting out. What is that? A little over in Great American Small Park. Sure.
Great American, which I think is one of the best hitting conditions that you've seen all season from that park by pretty decent margin. Hot, and wind going out a little bit, but it's really a play on the 2 pitchers, which the D-backs, I don't know what the hell happened yesterday in that game, but started heating up as a whole. I guess a lot of the top of that lineup especially started seeing beach balls, and that's something I probably want to ride until the wheels fall off, because that's a team we know is more talented than they've showed, and the pitching has been more of the issue than the bats, but they've been a little inconsistent in that realm too. But they get to face Lodolo, who has not had his stuff, to say the least, so far this year. And this is a lineup that is not only seeing beach balls lately, but they also destroy lefties. They're one of the best teams in the MLB in that fashion. So Lodolo, especially when you need, like I talked about this with him multiple times, we faded him so far this year. He's not striking out righties very much. This is a team that is not only killing lefties, but also doesn't strike out very much against lefties. So it's kind of a disaster situation, I think, for Lodolo. So I think he has a pretty tough start. And then you have Erod coming back from his injury on the other side. The Reds are not great on paper versus lefties, but they have a couple of key bats in there that I think are like coming back, like Tyler Stevenson, we've talked about a million times, but B, a lot of couple guys that have been unlucky, I guess, against lefties as well. So I think that, especially with the weather in Cincinnati today, starts to turn around, and then we get a really weird game that I think the Reds might have something to say about.
Yeah, not a lot of squares up for Erods, or at least not a lot
Because
of normal
I don't think
squares
he's
up.
going with a full leash, I guess, necessarily.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect it. Maybe it'd be a little shorter. But I don't really know what their plans are after yesterday. Their bullpen didn't get like as destroyed as you would think in a game like that, but it's not like completely fresh either. He's coming off the injury, so who knows? First start in a month. I don't think he went that long in his rehab starts either.
Interesting. Maybe it has something to do with him being an absolute quail shit.
That too.
Could be.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a shame watching him this year. Definitely fallen off a little bit. And we know how baseball goes. Sometimes these guys' careers just fall off a cliff and it hits pretty hard all at once. Erod right now looks like Patrick Corbin. We'll see if it lasts. Maybe he turns it around, but hopefully for your over today, he does not turn it around in this game in Cincy tonight. And I'm looking at some of Lodolo's squares, and those ones are making me feel pretty confident about runs in this game, at least for the Snakes. He's got that 2.5 runs allowed Goblin, which is a pretty good sign, and it's probably not that juicy, but I mean, they could have put that up as a normal square, and looking at the charts, I would not have been surprised. So probably a good sign. It's a Goblin for 2.5. I know it's a hitter-friendly park with a high total, but he's been kind of good in his last couple starts, so certainly not a bad sign. Seeing that puppy up there.
Yeah, minus 145 for that 2.5. Coming off of his, I guess you can call it masterclass, even though he got pretty decently lucky in the Cub start, but just shut them out.
Adam's got picks said just cut the shit and talk about Corbin revenge game, Krabs. Are we ready, Goods? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We'll come back to this under. Honestly, I already kind of sold it. So, yeah, already talked about the under and the goalie legacy performance from Blaze Reardon. And I'm not expecting a great offensive performance from the Outlaws with their new pieces as they kind of figure it out there. I don't think their offense shines. So give me the under 22.5 in the first PLL game on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Okay. Let's cut the shit and talk about the game of the night.
Patty C.
Let's cut the shit and talk about game of night, maybe game of year. I'm excited for this one. Patty C deserves to throw a gem in this game. I think he gets what he deserves tonight. I do. I'm done trying to get cute with the Nats. It's pretty simple, Jovan. If they face a lefty, they can't hit him. Doesn't really matter who it is. Matthew Boyd almost threw a perfect game when I was there the other night. It was just absolute domination. And that's when we had our lefty hitting lineup in. Tonight, we just rested our guys the other day. I doubt we have all this, lefty mashers in the lineup. Maybe Rosario's out there again because he's on a 10-game hit streak. They probably should keep him out there so they can keep bumping up his trade value. Who knows? But either way, this team can't hit a fucking lefty to save their life. And here comes in Patty C, who really could not have pitched worse over the last 4 years in DC. Could not have pitched worse. Worst pitcher in baseball. You think he's got something to prove? Coming back home in this start, facing his old team? I got a feeling he's had this game circled for the last couple weeks. Maybe he didn't know exactly what night he was going to start. I think it's at least fair to say he had this series circled before the season even started when he signed with the Rangers. I guarantee you he was only signing with a team that faced the Nationals, which actually that's a stupid comment. Every team plays every team now in the MLB. So that's pretty important, though, for Patty C coming back home to DC, facing off against a team that kind of gave up on him. Who knows what he's feeling like? He could be feeling like, fuck this Nats team. They threw me out. They didn't help me at all. And they left me out to dry out there on the mound. So they, had high pitch counts every game for Patty C. They left him out there to dry. Now you're looking at what the Rangers are doing. They're keeping him to under 90 pitches. They're keeping him fresh, and it's working great. So who knows what's going through Patty C's mind? There's one thing I do know, though, Jovan, and it's that this one's personal for Mr. Patrick Corbin, for Patty Ice. He's coming home. He's going to silence the Nats' bats. They can't hit a fucking lefty. I wish they could. They can't. And I think my guy Soroka I think he price match guarantees Patrick Corbin's gem. He goes less than that 2.5 run runs allowed. I think he goes out there and has his best start in a Nats uni this season. With all the talk around Patty C, how about Soroka and that 6 ERA with that 2.5 run score up there that is green as mom?
Mom.
I think he shoves today. And I think Patty C goes out there. And yeah, wouldn't it be something, B-Bets, if he brings it full circle tonight and gets those 10 strikeouts against the worst lefty hitting team in baseball?
Dude, the strikeouts might be a Jokic taco. Especially with Krabs
unfortunately,
not going.
Yes, I will not be able to make it. I have corporate duties this weekend. Got to go to a wedding. So I'll not be able to root him on in the stands. Honestly, I'd probably be too emotional at the game anyways. I'd be a mess. I'd be a train wreck, dude. I don't need to be there anyways. I'll let him splooge. I'll let him have his moments. It's not all about me tonight. I will not be able to be in attendance, though. All jokes aside. First 5 under. In this game, you can get 5, you can get 5.5 at plus chicken, whatever you want. It's not going to matter. Patty C gives up 1 at worst. And I wouldn't be surprised if Soroka throws a shutout. His squares are nuts up there on the board today. How about Steak coming in hot with a resub? Let's go, Steak. Hey, babe. Steak, do me a favor. Tell your buddy DeGen to stop betting on the Nats for me. Can you do that? Can you get him to stop? For his bank account's sake, for my well-being's sake. Can you have a convo with him for me?
He's got to stop taking the Nerfy on ice, too. That was cake.
That's also cake.
Lost in 1 minute.
Love to know Steak's POD for tonight. And I'd also like to know if he's got the stones to take the under on the ice with me. I feel like that's kind of a Steak type play. And DeGen comes in hot. Fuck you, Goots. Sure he can. All time. Okay. Phone under table at wedding. Packs picks. I don't know if it's worth getting in trouble for, but if I start seeing those Ks racking up, those Ks start racking up, might not have a goddamn choice.
It might be worth it.
Yep. Patty C, I'd like to take a peep at his strikeout square because I haven't really looked at that one too much. 4, sure. Not super high, but he's not a strikeout guy.
Yeah.
All right. Just wake up tomorrow morning and watch Corbin No-No on SportsCenter Top 10. Could be a good move, Dave Martinez's burner. Yep. We all know it's coming.
Dude, they've got a Patty C 17.5 pitching outs. You think he ain't going 6 in DC, man?
This one just simply means more for the guy who, for some reason, I don't know what it is, can't put my finger on it, just feels more comfortable.
I wonder what it is.
I don't know what it is. It could be anything.
He might be in shambles because, I don't know, maybe he's also an Elon fan and, you got the big drama happening right now. Maybe his head's other places.
I'm embarrassed. looking at those tweets.
As a sharp on this topic, I think he's pretty dialed in. I think he's backing his guy, Donnie. He's ready. Elon's not phasing him at all.
Big night for Patty C.
Big night.
Wouldn't be surprised if Donnie's in attendance.
Yeah, I was about to say, what if he makes a pregame visit? You think he's got the connects like that?
I don't know. It seemed like him and Kurt Suzuki were pretty fucking happy when they were there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Joan at the White House, but who knows? If anybody can get in that door, it's Patty C. With his tweets over the years, go back and look through his ex if you guys want a good laugh. Patty C. What a guy. Oh, man. Excited to see him go out there tonight and face the Nats. It's a win-win for me. It's a rare win-win, right? He shoves or he gets mucked and the Nats win. It's a rare win-win. Those don't grow on trees, folks. I'll be enjoying this game tonight.
Sure.
Jovan, let's swing it around. Want to see what other straight bets you got cooking up.
Once again, fading the Guardians for a lot of the same exact reasons as yesterday, except a little different situation, obviously, because there's, I guess, the same bounce back element for Colton Gordon that there was for Max Fried, but Max Fried very obviously is not Colton Gordon. Colton Gordon's been kind of a barrel machine as of late. Like, he hasn't really been lights out in any particular start except like when he came out against the Rays in his debut and just shoved for God knows what reason because they can't figure out how to hit pitchers' debuts. But he hasn't been all that great. And the second start against the Rays in Houston was really, really bad. Probably should have been even worse. But now you get to face a team that cannot hit a lefty. And the Rays gradually, like as they've gotten on this hot streak, I guess they're kind of in the middle of it in that last start. They've started to hit them much, much better. The Guardians have numbers that are even worse right now. We saw that last night. Like Max Fried is Max Fried, but he didn't have his stuff, didn't have his command. That's why he had 60 pitches in like 2 innings. He still threw a one-hitter against them and was absolutely dominant. So now I'm staring at the Astros on the road in Cleveland go from plus chick to damn near up to minus 130, which I think is pretty odd. But they also get to face my guy, Krabs, Logan Allen, which is goated because
Yeah,
I don't know
terrible.
what their plan is for him tonight. I guess as far as like a leash goes, but like they gave him his normal schedule of like the last 5 days. They brought him in out of the bullpen. Like he missed a turn in the rotation. There's no like outstanding injuries, but they brought him in for an inning. I don't know if they're going to let him go for a full start today, but regardless, I hate when teams do that in terms of like backing a pitcher, and especially when it comes against a team that you'd be surprised right now, second best lefty hitting team in all of baseball in the Astros.
Getting some weird vibes from some of those squares up for Logan Allen, but I like your sell job, and I think he's a quail shit pitcher.
Well,
so I'm okay with
Krabs,
squaring up and fading him.
Well, I'm telling you, like the squares look weird because his last appearance, he came out of the bullpen for 1 inning.
Right.
Yeah. Came out of bullpen for 1 inning and also got a win.
I'm surprised they got a guy up with that all going on. Typically, at least back in the day, sketchy guys like that who they don't have a good idea of how long he's going to go, they just don't even put up on the board. But in the Big 2-5, they're putting everybody up.
Maybe I would assume he's going for a little longer today and like a normal, semi-normal leash start, which is my point. So like the fact that you're doing that now against this Astros team that has been mashing left-handed pitching as of late, I think that's a recipe for absolute disaster. Which is probably why
it is.
You're seeing the rare time where I think I've seen the line move against Colton Gordon every single time, including like his debut against the Rays, obviously, where he shoved anyway, but it's the first time I've seen a significant move his way. So I will continue fading the guards against left-handed pitching because if your name's not J-Ram, you ain't hitting them right now.
Okay. They're catching some steam. They look sharp. I'm down to back the Astros. I appreciate you breaking down the Logan Allen sitch. Pretty weird.
It was odd.
You're sending him back and forth. 9 out of 10 times with a pitcher, you take him out of his routine, you're switching things up, you're trying new things mid-season, you're taking guys out of the rotation, you're putting them in the bullpen, you're bringing it back. 9 out of 10 times that shit doesn't work. I don't know why teams get so cute with pitchers. If you want to get cute, you do it the lineup, not Brandon Hyde style, but that's where you tinker. You don't fuck with pitchers, man. They're weirdos. You don't mess with them. You leave them be. You let them splooge off to the sides. You don't fuck with them. You don't change shit. You don't talk to them. Pitchers are weirdos, and they're creatures of habits. Changing stuff with pitchers on the bump doesn't work. It never does.
Yeah.
I don't get it. We'll see. And yes, Seabernaut, I've got eyes on it. I already got yelled at by Jovan. Just bringing it up. Already got in trouble.
Unreal.
Seabernaut, what do we know about it? Sanzatella, though? As much as I want to take that less than, Jovan is right. We don't take less thans for Sensatella. They put him up every week. And you can't get sharp like that.
It's half that his square has been like that for the entire year. It's also half that he's at the highest possible line that a pitcher would be at. So it's like, what else are you going to do?
Yep. We just leave it off to the sides. We let it splooge. Yeah. We don't take the more than. We don't take the less than. Okay. Boots on ground for Brendan Krabs? No way, Jules. Yeah, anybody in here a Charlotte local?
Krabs.
Anybody in here a Charlotte local? The PLL is in Charlotte this weekend. Go check out some games if you are. They had some incredible games last year in the PLL in Charlotte. This is Brendan O'Neill's breakout game, like we talked about earlier. That guy was a freak and had like 7 points last year in Charlotte. Dowdy runs it back, and I'm actually fading him today. See what happens. I think it is in Bank of America, but let me oh no, it's an American Legion Memorial Stadium. I think it's where they have the soccer going on for Charlotte's, the MLS team.
I thought they played in Bank, did they not? Or do they not?
No, I'm pretty sure they have like a brand new 6 stadium, actually.
Oh, maybe that was just year one then.
Yep, probably. Krabs under saves is juiced. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to be taking his more than saves, unless if I do, it's going to be for the vibes. I don't love that square. To be honest with you, after what I saw in week 1 for my guy, Brendan Krabs, he needs to step up. Step up and show out. He got roasted in week 1, I still believe, but again, I like the over in the game, so I'm not really backing him to do well today. Okay. Chaos in Charlotte this weekend. Yeah, that's their hometown, their home city. Okay. Sure. Daniel's saying they play in the Panther Stadium. Is that what they call the American Legion Memorial Stadium? Or
No, I think he was talking about Charlotte FC.
Yep. That is
Tuesday.
Charlotte FC's stadium. Just confirmed it. Very cool. All right. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. I like that Astros play, Jovan. Let's hear the Cubs play. I think I already went over my straight bets. What do you like about the Cubbies?
Yes, I mean, I don't know if there's anything that I can say too much that'll convince you or anybody in the chat that this play is hitting, but because you know they face Krabs. Best pitcher in baseball. Tariq Skubal. Hence why the Cubs are plus 160 on the ML, just about. But, I mean, he's been on an absolute unreal stretch as of late, and that's even talking about Skubal. I mean, he had probably what was two starts ago the best start, I think, in all of baseball, especially in like a no-hit effort that I've seen in the last couple of years, or a non-no-hit effort, like it wasn't a no-hitter. Against the Guardians, struck out 13, complete game, 2-hitter, just absolutely dominant. Then followed that up by dominating the Royals. So he's on like a 17-inning scoreless streak, which is just fantastic. And if you've watched him the last couple games, great for you because he has been a sight to watch. But now you get to face this Cubs offense, which I don't want to say anything about Skubal like he's not a legitimate pitcher because very obviously he is. We all know that. But if you look at like the teams that he's faced and he's been super dominant against, all of the teams except for, I guess, the Yankees, he was dominant against. Whenever he's faced a top 10 offense against lefties, he gave up 3 runs in 5 2/3 against the Mariners. And then famously, his worst start of the year was also against a top 10 team against lefties, which is the Boston Red Sox, who he gave up 5 runs against. And he still struck out 11 and was great in that aspect because the Astros or the Red Sox strike out a shit ton against both handedness, but especially lefties. But he's prone to give up some runs. Like the Guardians are terrible against lefties. We've talked about that plenty. He's faced the Royals twice and been pretty good against them. They're awful against lefties. The rest of the teams he faced have not been great teams against lefties. So as good as Skubal is, the competition in terms of splits have not quite been there so far this year. And when it has been, he hasn't been the greatest. So like now that he's in the stretch of this streak against this Cubs team that hasn't been great as of late, a lot of that's been because they're a little injured. Like Kyle Tucker is going to be back in this lineup, which lefty is still a bit of a challenge for anybody to go against Skubal. But I have faith in this lineup after a pretty disappointing series at times, I would say, against the Nats. They still won the series, but I would have expected a lot more offensive consistency, I guess, out of them. They had their couple innings where they burst out, but other than that, they had some pretty good matchups that they didn't take advantage of outside of the couple innings against Trevor Williams, the couple innings last night. They obviously got dominated by Mackenzie Gore, as they should have been, and that's another lefty that they didn't perform against. I think they do it against Skubal today, especially in Detroit, where the Cubs – you've noticed what they've done in these big fields. A lot of that's like PCA, but they use the gaps really, really well, especially against like these high velo pitchers, lefty or righty. So I feel like that's going to come into play today, whether it's PCA, whether it's Dansby, whether it's Kyle Tucker, whether it's any of these guys. I think they come out with a win. We were talking about Ben Brown yesterday, how he struggled against lefties his entire career. He's fixed a little bit of that, but I expect it to turn south. It's a little different when you're facing the Nats in terms of matchups than the Tigers. The Tigers have the better lefties, I guess, at the top of the lineup in terms of like I'm scared of them maybe a little more than like just the CJ Abrams from seeing marbles, and then James Wood is obviously fantastic, but they're a little more top heavy. Kerry Carpenter's great, Riley Green's great, Colt Keefe is seeing the ball, I guess, a little better right now, but other than that, the rest of the lineup does not have much pop from the left-hand side. So I think he pitches well too, which is probably why the total is as low as it is, and it's not just Skubal. So I feel like this is a gross game. Really, I mean, 2 great teams right now that people didn't expect to be this good, I guess, coming into the season. Playoff type atmosphere. Cubs shock the world.
Great play. If I'm just going based off a gut right now, and who knows what might change in the next 28 minutes, this is the best play we have.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? If I'm putting odds to the side, if I'm just locking the fuck in, Jovan, and picking a winner, this might be best play. And I'm happy you took it this far and took the ML for the Cubbies. I got caught up on this game earlier. I couldn't figure out what the right move was. I was looking at the under for a while. Almost had that in the sharp report. I like the under. And I had the same kind of thoughts you did. I'm like, why is the under catching steam with Ben Brown involved? And I'm thinking, okay, well, if this game's that close, maybe the Cubbies can keep it close. Or if the total's that low, maybe the Cubbies can keep it close. And I think that goes hand in hand with your ML play at plus 164, which is going to scare off everybody from fading Scooball. But I think they have a chance to get it done. And looking at Scooball's hits allowed square, that gives me some hope for the Cubbies as well. I'd say both guys' fantasy scores, Ben Brown and Scooball, were a hair lower than I expected. But with the low total, got kind of confused. And with the under catching steam, ended up just staying off. After hearing your Cubbies sell job, it might just be Ben Brown out-dueling Scooball, or at least pitching just as good, giving him a chance. And then you see the Cubbies take this one late. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I was pretty interested too because I like Scooball squares usually don't look the slightest bit weird. Like you're never going to see him like overly red in any of the areas like to fade him. But somebody pointed out like the last couple games that the Cubs have faced lefties, they haven't done well at all. And part of that's been because their lineup hasn't been fully healthy. But look at what they did against Lodolo. Look at what they did against Mackenzie Gore. Look at what they did against Andrew Abbott. Nothing. Now look at Tariq Scooball's 4.5 hit square after two of the best starts I think we've seen in all of baseball in the last two.
Super
it's interesting to me.
Duper weird.
With a 7 total too in a known pitcher's park.
Weird. And I was trying to check some odds on that hits allowed square, but of course there's no odds up for this game for pitchers.
Yeah, they have like, I don't know what the deal is with the pitcher stuff on the books for that game. I couldn't find any of it.
Weird.
And yes, 100% Tigers bullpen, SBR and Patty Ice, right? They have been in a really odd spot for the last week or so, maybe more. So it's probably going to be a tight game late.
Let's check out some YouTube chats. We got Curry of Pounds getting involved early and often, as he always does in the YouTube. We got Patty C in DC. What a Friday. Yes, sir, Curry of Pounds. Sure we can. We got AZ in the YouTube saying, Carb, does your brother work for MLB The Show? I'm assuming you meant to say Krabs.
Carb.
No, I don't have a brother. But let me know who the hell you're talking about, AZ. Carb. Unbelievable. Carb. What's up, R? Lurking in the YouTube chat as well.
If that was like a Trent Tubbs dig.
Carb.
That could be big brain.
Yeah, that guy's either 10 steps ahead and he just called me Carb with a K, or he does not know how to spell. So
it's either just a
Carb bats.
1 letter off spelling error, or he's actually Megamind.
He might have just chirped me harder than I've been chirped in a long time.
That could be insane.
Or he has the grammar of a 3rd grader. We will find out, hopefully soon. Would love to know, AZ. Are you an honest man? Are you man enough to admit your mistakes? Or was that the greatest chirp of the Big 2-5?
Greatest
Unbelievable. Chirp. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's keep moving to grooving. We only got about 25 minutes left. We still need to go over some prize pick squares.
He does.
Let's get to them.
Yeah. Under on the ice.
You're right, Goots. You're right, dude. Keep me honest. Swinging around. Under on the ice. Who's got the sack? Who's got the sack to bet it with me? After there should have been 10 goals in game 1. There were only like 7 or 8, but there should have been 10. That game should have soared over with ease. All right, AZ is a man of integrity and honesty. He said, lol, my bad, typo, bro. Okay.
I'm so disappointed.
I respect the guy, though, who admits his mistake.
I'm actually so disappointed. I thought he was him.
No, not him. Could have been hilarious, though. Yeah, this game, look, game 1, plenty of points, plenty of goals, and a lot of excitement, but there could have been more. I think game 2, backs against the wall. You see Florida's defense show up and shine down 0-1 in the series. I think they're the big MVP of this game. And seeing the total open up at the same line it did in game 1, pretty good sign, I'd say, for the under after we saw a fairly easy over in game one. And again, like I said, if you watch that game, there could have been fucking 10 goals in that first game. It was insane. Honestly surprised there weren't more. Game two, backs against the wall for the Panthers. Splits look sharp as attack on the under. Nobody's betting it, but the people who are putting fat bets down. I'll take my chances with the under, and I'll lean into the Panthers defense to show up in game two of the Stanley Cup after a splooge fest in game one.
I don't know if I have the sack to bet that with you, Krabs. I don't know if I have sack for that.
Okay.
That could be your Schwarb play of the day.
Okay.
Only reason being because I think that obviously like leans into a Panthers game script more than it does the Oilers. And I can't tell you how many times we're going to see that the Panthers are not going down 2-0 today.
I'm seeing a lot of Panthers tickets.
Yeah. I mean, to be expected. Anytime a defending champion or like a favorite in the championship series goes down 1-0, you're going to see that it's impossible for them to lose both games to start the series a million times. So, like, it's not crazy, but I don't know.
Maybe a trip over to Pickett Pro to see the splits on this game for both the total and the sides. Could be in our best interest down the line here. We'll take a peep at this puppy in a couple here. Curious to see what people are betting. If I had to guess, probably a lot of action on the Panthers. They're moving from +105 to -105 on the ML. And then ML continues to, move closer to a pick'em. People think no shot the Oilers are going up 2-0, like Jovan was saying. Who knows? Seems to be a pretty popular angle today with the Panthers on the ML. So you'd rather go Edmonton Oilers on the ML than the under in this game?
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I'm not too sold on really anything in this game, to be honest with you. But I am, out of the times, I guess the Panthers have sold like the moments like this, first game on the road, they do come back, especially the way they lost that game against the Oilers where they got outskated. It felt like for 50 plus minutes of the game, third period, the Oilers sucked the soul out of them like they do everybody, and nobody thought it could happen to the Panthers, and it did. I don't know if they're able to sit back defensively and do it again, but I'm sure everybody thinks the same thing, which could have you in a good spot here.
Yeah, we'll see. Not getting the greatest vibes with this under, but still an NBA Finals under. NHL Stanley Cup under.
Yeah, championship series game.
You got to feel
under.
good about an under in the finals.
Of course.
Whether it's the ice, hardwood, doesn't fucking matter. What am I doing betting on fucking overs in the hardwood last night? Somebody smacked me across the face, metaphorically. Bullshit bets.
So unlike you.
Talked myself into it all day yesterday because I really wanted to watch the game with my buddies. I really wanted to get a bet in, not just the Prize Picks lineup. Should have just went with the Prize Picks lineup, although that was cake. I wanted to play, and I talked myself into the high-ass total, 230.5. Looking at me funny. Shit bet, Jovan.
I blame myself for
20 minutes.
I blame myself for planting seed, but that was just incredibly unlike you. Yeah, incredibly unlike you.
It just an over in a championship should just be put off to the fucking side and never taken. Like, it's just not even an option. Stupid. Come on, guys. The books take more handle, more bets on a championship series, probably 100x than they are in any standard series throughout the year.
To be fair, though, I think the last handful of overs have been free in the championships, except for that one.
Right.
Stanley Cup, game one was air. Natty was air. Or college football Natty was
Super
air.
Bowl was
Super
air.
Bowl was air.
AFC and NFC championships, air. Most points
air.
Out. Like, literally,
yeah. I don't remember what the total was in the college basketball Natty, but I think that one might have went over too.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Krabs, you didn't take the 10 points? No, I did not, Dead Larry Bird. Everyone that works at Bookit pisses me off from Trent. Okay. Thanks. Trent, man, thought I could pull a fast one last night and take a shortcut and bet your team to sweep 4 out.
Fucking pitching. Hey, you know what the
was
plus
insane.
is, Krabs? You know, he's going to game 5. Good thing there will be one now. So it's looking up. Hashtag thank you, Trent.
It is true.
Remember, Trent did also say right before the finals, and I quote, not worried about the Pacers.
I mean, if they
Pacers could
win,
close it out in 4. Yeah.
if they win 3 straight, this is his dream scenario. I don't know what he's so upset about.
Because he knows they ain't won 3 straight.
I'm glad Steve Les gets to watch his skull fucking courtside. Oh, yeah, he's going to game 2, huh? Okay. Yep. Let's talk about him. Let's move. Let's groove. Prize pick squares.
Sure.
Jovan.
Up here first.
Going back
Fridge
to the
goat.
well, huh?
Fridge goat, of course. We got a lefty on the mound. I like runs from the Reds. This is one of the only guys that I guess is just a pure, consistent lefty hitter for the Reds. So, like, all the other guys, I'm kind of betting on them to, I don't know, positively regress in a bunch of ways. Like Ellie, like Friedel's a good, decent lefty hitter, but he's still lefty. Matt McClain's been fucking terrible. Who knows if, like, Trevino is going to come in and DH or catch and have Stevenson doing the other. But the lefty hitter for the Reds is Tyler Stevenson. And he gets a great matchup, I think, with Erod for however long he's going to go. He fills up the zone. He also, like, loves to pound the rock, like, outside in the zone, which we were talking about this when we took him for Dinger Tuesday. He loves to use that little short porch right field there in Cincy, and God forbid he hits one over, but he also uses all fields, which is fantastic for, I don't know, a fastball heavy pitcher from the left side like Erod. So I think he busts today. I think he has to do something if we're hoping for runs from the Reds in this game. So I'm taking him, and I'm also taking something in course. I couldn't go without going to course, Krabs. Ronnie Mauricio. I have a feeling in my gut because he's been bad. It's been 2 games, but, like, I've seen a bunch of bitching on Twitter about just how bad his ABs have been. He's chasing a lot. It's classic Mauricio fashion. 0-8 to start. But I have a feeling in Coors because he's getting this opportunity because Vientos is hurt. Now Lindor is hurt. So he's going to be getting reps in both sides or both positions of the infield. I have a feeling in this series, he goes absolutely nuts, Krabs. I think this is the Ronnie Mauricio series where Mets fans are going to get overwhelmingly excited before he turns to shit again. But now you get, for a guy who struggles with chasing outside the zone and struggles getting stuff blown by him and with a lot of breaking balls in the dirt, you get a guy that doesn't do any of that. Not just a bad pitcher in Senzatella, but it's a lot in the zone. It's a lot of fastballs. The breaking ball gets hit hard, and it doesn't really dive below the zone. That's why he gets hit as hard as he does. I think you're going to see Ronnie Mauricio splooge. And I do think it's pretty interesting, too. Like, he should be hitting, like, 7th in the lineup out of anybody that's not, like, the GOATs, like the Nemos, the Sotos, the P. Alonzos. He's the highest for, like, everything odds-wise outside of those guys, which I think is really, really interesting. He also he's been up for 2 games. He certainly has not stole a base. He's the leader in the game by a lot to steal a base today. So I think he's going to be on base and start a rally, hopefully to come back to the top of the lineup, and maybe Nemo bucks him in or somebody at the bottom of the lineup does something. But it's all we got up for him. And I like runs in this game. Senzatella is a bad pitcher, even if he goes somehow sneaks less than that 3.5 earned runs. I don't think it's going to be by much. I think the bottom of that lineup does something starting with him. He will be crossing plate.
Crossing plates. Sure he can. You could pair this with Senzatella more than earned runs. Why not?
Could do that.
You going to do it?
I mean, I think I have better squares to pair it with, but
okay.
You know, I just want to take it over. I'm in.
Wonder what the odds are on that puppy. Is it even worth looking? Oh, I got it right
Mauricio or Senzatella?
No, on Senzatellis.
I saw -125 to the over on the books.
-120 right now on green.
Yeah. So, I mean, just about max.
Yeah, Ronnie's probably sending one to the moon.
I think he is, dude. This is giving me really strange vibes in a good way.
Whenever you get in your fucking bag, scroll through the fucking books like you live in there, and you look and find the randomest guy that's getting crazy respect, and he's at the top ahead of a bunch of other goats, you're typically pretty dialed in. Knock on wood. So,
Hope so.
Yeah, let's hope you run that back again. And good to see him at the top of some of those, weird, props and shit. Ronnie Mauricio getting some respect today, and for good reason.
Could be huge. Hasn't had a hit in the majors in 2 years? So I don't think he played in the majors or got on the roster last year, and he's only been up for 2 games now.
Has he only played 2 games overall? Like, was his debut a couple days ago?
No. He debuted.
He played last year?
Not last year. I think he debuted in 23 in late August or towards the end of the season. They brought him up, and he was not really all that good. And obviously hasn't been since then. But I think now with no Lindor, with no Vientos, they're like saying they want to give him some run at all these different positions to see if he's the guy, see if you can give him something if they need him. And you're getting a series in cores now against Senzatella, game 1. I think this is his chance. I think he takes it.
Yeah, that square's hitting. But I'll tell you what, Senzatella's going less than his earned runs, too.
Yeah.
I've already seen it, bro. I've already seen it. I can feel it in the plums. Both can be true. And I'm not playing it to find out, by the way. Just getting a weird feeling. Fair. Why are the Rockies catching 50 cents of steam in this game? I guess is what I can't get over. I get the Senzatella square. That shit's cake every time. It goes more than every time, especially when I take it and try to get cute. Then it actually goes more than every time.
Yeah.
But why are the Rockies catching 50 cents of steam, Jovan, with Senga on the bump? That's what I can't get over.
You know what I think, Krabs? I think they score.
Runs. Galore.
I've noticed this too. Ran out of time because we were coming up towards start time here. But when the Rockies, I know this is like the worst team, obviously, they've had in a while. But whenever they go on a road stand and they are fucking terrible on it, which this year, that's all of their road stands. But even like the last couple of years, they come back from that and they play a team with an ace on the bump. Those games have been soaring. So like I'm not a huge trends guy, but like for the Rockies, there's a couple, I guess. Like I think the Gen brought the one up last year. First 2 games of a series and cores go under. The third one has fucking 20 runs every time. Kind of all the years to pay attention to some of those for them. So I think they hit up Senga a little bit, a lot more than people would expect.
No shot the Rockies win 4 games in a row, right?
Yeah,
no chance.
No shot. Probably not.
It's baseball, folks.
Probably not, but I do think, even the worst teams have streaks in baseball.
Yep.
We've seen that
every year.
Saw it last year.
It's usually around this time, too, when, the good teams get a little fat, happy, complacent, and the bad teams have trouble looking themselves in a mirror. Talked about it earlier this week. It's about that time, Jovan.
Yeah.
Long days of summer.
Might be. It also could help them. Like, not that they really did all that much against Senga. I think, I don't remember if the 2 runs were both off the same home run, but like they just saw him last start. It's nothing new. Just like Senzatella is seeing him for the second time in 2 starts. Rockies have seen Senga for the second time in 2 starts. So we'll see how it ends up.
All right. Let's spin it around, Goots. I got to go over my squares here before we get to the squad ride here in a moment. I'll power through these puppies. I've already addressed both of them. Michael Soroka, I think, goes out there and throws a shutout today. Probably only goes 5 innings. He does not have pinpoint commands, and he does not have the highest stamina. So I hope they don't put him out there for the 6th, because his ERA in the 6th inning this year is like 1 million. It's terrible. Just fucking pull him out in the 5th and make it a bullpen game for the rest of it. It is what it is with Soroka. You got to know your limits. But I do think he goes out there and shoves. He's got a juicy to the under earned runs allowed prop on the books. He's got a pretty green, doesn't get much more green than this, 2.5 earned runs allowed square up on Prize Picks that I have to take the less than. In a game I love the under in a game I love the first 5 under in, I'll be betting on that puppy. In the Patty C legacy return home to DC performance here tonight, when Patty C's getting all the talk, all the gas, I think it's Soroka who shows up and shows out as well. And price match guarantees Patty C's gem and goes out there and has a shutout. Give me the less than 2.5 earned runs allowed. And then Blaze Reardon is him, best goalie in the PLL. Tonight, he earns his fucking paycheck. and he turns into an absolute monster and carries us to an under in the game and cashes his more than saves allowed, which is about even both ways on the books if you look at the juice on the odds. The Outlaws got all these new offensive pieces. Everybody's expecting them to splooge. They're catching steam on the books. They went from plus 1,000 to plus 750 to win the championship of the PLL. Everybody's hopping on the bandwagon. I think their offense is improved, but I don't think they're elite. I think it takes them a couple weeks to get going with Bernhardt locked in as the QB out there on the field for the Outlaws. I think it takes them a little bit to get going. I think tonight, they look a little sloppy. They probably get some good shots, but not the best shots. I think it's more of a quantity over quality type outing from the Outlaws offense. A couple weeks from now, though, we'll be talking about those quality looks. But for now, I think it's more quantity. They'll have plenty of opportunities, probably not the best looks. And Blaze is going to show up, and with that low total, got all the confidence in the world in him getting his more than saves.
I'm in on that.
Okay.
So in on that.
Let's go, Estamico. Appreciate you,
Also,
Beast. W Vibes.
Required to tell you, Krabs. Somebody just mentioned it in chat. Just today, new MLB Lightning Player of the Month show card. Tariq Skubal.
Ooh.
Just announced today.
Ooh.
Right under that on the MLB. Graphic showing Tariq Skubal being dominant all season. Right below that, Tariq Skubal pitches his way to the top spot of the pitcher power rankings. Right under that, another graphic glazing Tariq Skubal, rightfully so. But you know when those start hitting the feed, what happens?
I want to take the Cubbies. You got me convinced. We'll talk about that here in a moment.
That James Wood card, Krabs. You need that.
Good say. I'll have to shake the dust off. Get involved.
Shake the dust off. That's what I did. When I got back, immediately got the Will Benson card. Not hitting nukes.
Ron, asking the right questions. What do you think about the Jackson Iker squares on Prize Picks today? I'll tell you what I like is more than 1.5 goals. The over is super juicy on the books. I kind of like that, although I like the under in the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he squeaks 2. I'd rather take that than his points. I'd take his more than 1.5 goals. Super juicy to the over on the books. Okay. Dubs. All right. Yeah, 2 things people are tagging me in today. It's the James Wood card on MLB The Show. Everybody said I need to get it. It looks fucking sick. And the new Nats shoes that just dropped.
Dude, you have to get those. Those are actually fresh, too.
Dude, I know I need them. The Nats ones.
The Nats
Sure,
ones.
the Natitude ones. Super fresh. Well, let's see if we can hit some bets and pay for those puppies.
Yeah.
Catch a squad ride tonight. Who knows?
They got
Sky's the limit, folks.
They got no Rays City Connect ones, I'm sure.
I bet.
Ridiculous.
It makes no sense. Okay.
Yeah, Trent. Is Trent getting the new Halliburton shoes that just dropped? He debuted yesterday.
I'll tell you what he is getting in his car and driving to Game 5 now that they lost Game 1.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's huge.
All it took was me to lock in the Thunder to sweep. Little did I know there was actually one other outcome that could be just a little more rat shit than the Thunder sweeping in 4. It's actually the Pacers sweeping in 4, something we didn't actually think was possible. Oh, it's possible, folks. Watch out. It might be a sweep, but we might have had the wrong team. Shit. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. It's about that time, folks. Let's close out the week strong with a W squad ride play tonight. Jovan, I'll give you one guess for who's up for the only triple square on the board. If you get it right now, I'll give you $50. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Parker
1.
Meadows. There's only 3 guys up for it ever. It's not going to be Corbin Carroll. It's not going to be Bobby Witt because they're playing 2 very different teams. The only guy that's ever up there that has to be a random name he's talking about is Parker Meadows.
Parker, fuck. It is Parker Meadows, actually, yes.
I mean, that was a stupid question by him because there's only a handful of guys up there. And if it's a random name, there's only one.
Trent, yes, Jovan probably saw that square earlier today, but I don't give a fuck.
No,
you
actually,
promised.
Legit didn't.
Brent, you promised 50 subs. I'll be waiting.
There's no way because there's Corbin Carroll, there's Bobby Witt, there's Jaron Duran. There's really nobody else that's a random name that is always up for triples than Parker Meadows. So I knew if there was a dumb shit question he's asking. Had to be him.
Trent, I'll be waiting, bro. The people are starving for those 50 subbies, man. Starving. I'll be waiting. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. We'll wait for Trent to drop those 50 subs. Make sure you guys hold him accountable, keep him honest for that, and make sure that he pays those puppies. He gives you guys some free subbies. For now, Goots, if you don't mind, run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. All right, chat. W squad ride last night. Yankees -1.5. Great call, Jovan. Hate fucking betting on the Yankees, but if we do it, at least they come through and they cash. All we can ask for. All right, let's run it back as we get a junior double. That dude is seeing beach balls, bro.
Seeing him. He's seeing him.
Yeah, he's just a damn good hitter.
Seeing him.
Damn good hitter.
Fruity card value. Yeah, Goots, does Stream know about that bet? That horrendous wager you made?
I mean, I think it happened on stream, so yeah.
I know. I just want people to be reminded because they probably forgot.
I bet Jovan that Jackson Holiday would hit more home runs than Junior Cameron, not knowing that our hitting coach was teaching him to hit more line drives. So it's not on me.
That's just a shit bet. I'm sorry.
Just bad by Goots.
God damn it, Goots.
Really bad.
I'll pay you now, Jovan. Wow.
And if Trent wasn't already pissed off today, there it goes. See ya. Circle the wagons. Let's fucking go, Trent.
Thank you, SBR.
Come on. Let's go, Parker Meadows. Let's go, Trent. Let's go, chat.
Trent really had to get 50 subs because of Parker Meadows.
It really be your own actions sometimes, in your own words, Trent, huh? It really be. Every once in a while, it'd be your own actions, promises, and words. Yep. Shout out Trent. Wow. Whoa.
Oh, there's drum for the Pacers ML.
We got a drum 25 piece fresh off the presses. He said, you know what? If Trent's holding true to his word, I will too. How about a 25 unit sub whale?
Thanks.
Coming in hot from drum. Sure.
Let's go, sirs.
Drum, you're him. Appreciate you greatly. Trent, you are him as well. Hope you're shaking the boogies out of the eye sockets on a Friday morning / afternoon. And I hope you're locking in for the rest of the day, man. Too many winners out there to be sulking about an NBA game last night. Who gives a fuck? Lock back in. We got PLL tonight. We got MLB tonight. We got Patty C returning to DC. What more could he ask for, Trent?
We got Lockie going band for band with another 5-piece.
Let's go, Lockie.
Thanks.
Had a bad. Appreciate you, boss. W Lockie, W Drum, W Trent. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's lock in here. Ooh. Now wait a damn minute. Another 5-unit subwell coming in from Pax Picks.
Pax
sure he
Picks. Can. Matching.
Pax Picks, you're him. Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude.
Madul, great call in the CFL last night, bro. Great call.
Great call.
Great call. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. I want to cash a squad ride here. Not sure if we got a surge today, but if we do, we got to pick up the tempo and the pace. Jovan, I'm looking at some of your plays. Now, last year we did PLL squad rides on the sides along with normal squad rides. Is that something we want to bring back?
I think we should. If you love that underplay, I feel like that's a given.
Yeah.
Or we could do one tomorrow so that people have a squad ride tomorrow.
Ooh.
I don't know if I want to count it for the squad ride poll or for the.
Doesn't have to be, but it can just be.
Like it's a PLL squad ride. It's in its own little category.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You could also get the Redwoods involved tomorrow.
Yeah.
Aren't they playing
the Chaos game 2 of their doubleheader? Yep. Some tired legs. You saw how the Atlas got affected in that game too. They were tired as ma.
Yeah.
All right.
In on that.
All right. We can wait for tomorrow. For now, let's craft up our favorite plays for today.
SBR 10 gifted for Parker Meadows.
SBR, you're him, dude. Yes. SBR, don't give up on your Tigers. They're not winning today, but overall, they've still been very fun. They've been a treat to watch. Don't give up.
SBR be betting against his teams more than anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, he loves it. He gets off to that shit.
I have no sympathy for SBR's teams losing. except for the Lions
No,
in the
you're right.
playoffs, but that's half taken away because of Trent.
I didn't think people faded their own squads more than me, and then I met SBR. He comes in here once a week.
SBR
talking about
loves it.
He'll talk about fading his teams on futures. He already wants to fade the Lions. It's impressive, SBR. A tip cap, I'll give you that. Impressive. Good work. All right, let's lock in here. We got to wrap this puppy up. Do we have a surge stream later today? Also, we have a hype train level 8. Those don't grow on trees.
Those
Love
do
to see
not.
it.
Those do
Okay.
not.
Jovan, are we putting the Cubs ML in here or what?
I feel like we have to. I feel like we got.
Okay. You don't want the +1.5? I guess it's a little juicy. +1 or -135.
Yeah, it's a little juicy. Rather just drop nuts, go for the jug.
Okay. Let's go Cubs ML. I'm also down to go Astros ML if you are.
Of course, of course.
I'm not the greatest bettor on Fridays, so we got to lean on your plays here a little bit.
Hey, well,
Okay.
I'm not the best Thursday bettor. Not that I had a great day overall, but Yanks did win. So maybe we're breaking curse this week.
Good shit. Yeah, great play last night with the Yankees. Made us earn it.
Yeah,
It still came through, right? No complaints.
don't want you not getting involved just because Fridays.
Well,
You got plays.
I honestly wouldn't mind not getting involved today.
Okay.
I really wouldn't mind it because I'm looking at your plays
No Nats first 5 under.
and I'm looking at your plays. If we put that in, it's automatically going to win. I'm looking at your plays. I'm down to put that play in if you want. Rangers Nats first 5 under.
I
know you
legit
don't-
think that's a winner.
You don't want the under on the ice. I get it. It might be a little too cute. You don't want. Well, we don't want the PLL play in here. We'll save that for an unofficial squad ride tomorrow on the weekend.
Well, I mean, if you think it's a winner, Krabs, I have nothing against it. Nothing at all. Even if you think the under's a winner, I'm not betting the over or the hockey under. I'm talking about
On the ice. Yep.
Yeah. Aries with
Just
5
winners.
gifted. Love that.
Let's fucking go, Aries. At a babe. Come on, Aries. Come on, hype train. Move that puppy. 98%. Are we getting to level 9? Only time will tell.
2 minutes.
Who knows?
Edging.
Who knows? Only time will
Edging.
tell.
Alex
Wow.
gets us there with another 5-er. He just saw that. Augustine
Dude, you guys are
Ramirez, Nuke, he got
splooging
horned up.
subbies.
Aries, DJ
Splooging
Fitz one
subbies on
more
a
too.
Friday. Come on.
Is there
Or is
actually no
18
surge?
getting involved?
No surge, Goots is saying? Or
Okay.
Canadian Goots?
Okay. I kind of figured after how last night went, but let me know if that's actually confirmed or if that's just made up Canadian Goots. Okay. Well, then we need to wrap this up. Here's what we're going to do. Like I talked about all week, winners. That's all that matters. Putting in green plays, right? If it's a play that's cost us in the past, who gives a shit as long as it turns green tonight? Here's what we're going to do. Put the Cubs ML in here, Astros ML in here, Rangers Nats, first 5, under 5. And we'll leave the Friday night over, although I was close. I was close just putting your 3 plays in and just letting it ride and being confident you go, 2 for 3 and going about our day. But we'll put the Nats first 5 under in there. That's a winner.
Winner.
And we'll leave the over in Great American Small Park out of it. We'll put the Astros ML and Cubs ML. We'll run a 3-piece. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
Okay?
Let's go.
3 plays,
Clay
3 winners.
Jenks. Clay Jenks.
Clay
getting
Jenks coming in,
involved with
resubbing.
5-er.
Holy smokes, bro.
What a
Yes.
What a goat.
Come on. Come on. Let's go, chats. W
Clay
subbies,
fucking
W squad rad poll.
Jenks.
Get involved. Clay Jenks. Is that Clay
Props
Davis
out
and Jenks
Jenks.
picks? Did they combine accounts to save a quick buck? Props.Jenks.
Hilarious.
Yeah, if you guys aren't using props.cash, what are you doing? Go check it out yourself. Props.cash is fire. If you're placing prize picks lineups and you're not using props.cash, you're missing out. You're missing out. Go check out props.cash. I believe we have a promo code. I think one of the mods can drop that puppy in the chats. Let's get 100 votes today, Coop Eagle. No reason why we can't get 100 votes. It always, confuses me why we don't get more votes. We should have 1 vote for every viewer. It takes 1 second to go in the chat, to click on the poll, and and lock in the favorite play you heard us talk about today. All right? If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. That's fine. That's cool. But make your way over to the Twitch page right now at Bookit Sports. Now's the time to show up and show out. Get involved. Okay?
Get
3 plays, 3 winners. Cubs
We also
ML.
got some sneak super regional action today, Krabs.
Yeah, any college baseball looks?
Super sneak. Talking about this with Goots, that Jamie Arnold's not starting game 1 for FSU to keep him on normal rest and keep him for the elimination or send him to the Omaha game. I understand it, but Vellini, who hasn't pitched very much, is going as good a pitcher as he is at Oregon State. I think that is probably a little bit of disaster waiting to happen. Kind of like the Beavs, even though it's fuck the Beavs for that bullshit regional.
But tonight's a beef.
Might be the Beavs, and I do think FSU probably comes back and wins that series. But maybe not tonight.
Trust, Adrian. Trust. Cubs ML. Okay? 54 votes. Almost got 100 there, Coop Eagle. Love to see it. Cubs ML tonight. I think that was the best sell job of the day. Happy that won. W Line Shopper coming in, giving out a subby as well. Jovan. WBTL, W Week. Looks like the hype train closed out. So we can go ahead and close out. Oh, it's actually still going. Wow.
Still moving.
Wow. Okay. Well, we got to wrap up. We get the Surge stream starting up. We're already late as shit. So let's go ahead and wrap up this puppy. W Squad Ride, Cubs ML, W Stream today, W PLL action tonight. Get involved. If you guys want winners, you know where to find them. Check the profile. I'll be tweeting out all those winners. Okay?
Yep. Grab the
W Week.
Grab the sweat towels, fellas. We're going to Detroit.
Okay. Yep. And we're fading Scooball. You might need that sweat towel. All right, boys. We'll catch you next week. Same time, same place. We'll be.